Welcome to another KYAI Pod, the Know Your AI podcast. We got a special guest today, William Hayden. William's been working on the latest, arguably leading open weights model from an incredible lab in China. Deepseek guys have another hit model in their hands. Finally released V3, and what's been great about V3 so far is William got it up and running day zero via Metrum Insights platform. And, that's exciting because as William and Claire were talking about, it took a little bit of work to get GPT OSS up and running. We did nail day zero support, but you need to be pretty quick on some adjustments that you have to make it possible. Deepseek had just right out of the box great compatibility with VLM. And we're running the latest version of VLM in our Metrum Insights release, so that made it super easy. William fired up a very expensive Blackwell B200, or appropriately priced Blackwell B200 instance to try this model because it is a big model, so we're going to use that full memory footprint and try to get some perf numbers up. We thought for this pod we'd do just a quick live run, and William, you probably conducted hours and hours of testing so far on Deepseek V3, but for the purpose of this, we'll probably do a quick short input output token run. A couple of concurrency settings on it just to make it quick and snappy. William, is there anything I missed as far as your observations out of the gate?
No, I think you hit it pretty hard on the head there, and yeah, it's really impressive what the gentlemen and ladies at Deepseek have been doing to make their models compatible with people's existing server infrastructure. I think that's a huge win for them, and yeah, really excited to see how this model performs in the use cases that we've been using the older version of Deepseek that released earlier this year. So let's get it fired up. Let's get a new run going and see how that goes.
As you start sharing your screen, get a run going, I think just speaking of compatibility, obviously we ran on Blackwell, which is not an architecture that's available in China. It running out of the blocks on Blackwell is good to see. I think given kind of industry standard practices and compliance with the geo-regulatory environment, Deepseek didn't have the opportunity to pre-test on Blackwells. This may be one of the first Blackwell-based Deepseek tests that you've conducted over the last day or so, William. So that's great. Great to see it up and running, and great that it works out of the box with hardware they weren't even able to validate on.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I'm like I said, you can't really say too many good things about the guys at Deepseek. They're just killing it in the open weights department, and it's really exciting that they released another model. And let's do minimal configuration. Steen, do you have any suggestions here that we should run? We're just going to do automatic precisions, essentially run it out of the box.
Yeah, let's just fire up 8 GPUs. So we use that full instance you've provisioned. Let's do be like 1, 8, 16, 32 concurrency. Drop the 256 and maybe just do a simple 128 input output token length. And please share your Hugging Face token for the world to see.
Yeah, let me
or share it or hide it as you deem fit. But one of the kind of debates right now, we probably need to do some more evals on the model, but there's a good argument that this is still number 2 in the open weights department because Alibaba Quinn model 235B thinking that came out late July is still a fantastic model as well. So seeing great performance from that. Obviously GPT OSS is performing very well as well, but Deepseek is right at that leadership threshold, plus or minus a few percentage points. And again, this is a big model too. I mean, I think Deepseek kind of, if you look at the Quinn model, obviously 235B, this is nearly 3 times as big as a Quinn model. So, not non-trivial for us to load it and provision it as well. So that's a, non-trivial setup time for this. I think you at least kind of preloaded the model, William, so we don't have to do we don't have to wait for the model download time
Yes.
in this quick run, which is nice. For someone that's using Metrum Insights for the first time, they're going to have to download this big model, and it just does take some patience. Luckily, our no-code UI here to provision it and start cooking with some runs will save some time.
Yeah, that's a good point. And on that note, these bigger models, they do take a really long time to load, and they do take a lot of GPU space or GPU memory to load. So, that's a huge advantage of the Blackwell architecture here. Is you got more memory than you can really even need, but you still need all 8 GPUs to be able to fit a model of this size, and just serve a single replica of it. But once we see some performance numbers, we'll get into a little bit more about how efficient this model is, even with just a single replica for handling concurrent requests.
Awesome. Well, did you get it provisioned and cooking?
Yeah, it's setting up right now.
Okay. Well, we're waiting for that setup. I know Clay has been, as he does, working with a lot of the latest, tools in the marketplace. I know he was playing with Flow earlier, ran out of credits with Google Flow. They wanted to upgrade him quickly, and we've seen a lot of great content come out of Google Flow. I mean, a lot of people are arguing, we're meeting that performance threshold or that quality threshold where you actually can kind of generate like an advertisement that's decent. And everybody in Hollywood is very scared that, obviously within the next 12 months or so, you're going to see AI generated movies at near Hollywood quality, we're definitely on a path for that. Clay fired up a free tool here, or a more affordable tool than Flow. And obviously we've been doing a ton of stuff in VO. It's great. There are limitations though, in kind of the type of content you can make. Clay, what do you want to share with us today?
Yeah, so I think we stay on the theme of the Chinese models for now. Wan 2.2 was a model that came out from Alibaba that had a ton of hype. Obviously, it came out a little bit around the time of the Google Veo 3 stuff. So the Google Veo 3 just took over, at least as far as the scene for the image and video gen stuff. But I kind of wanted to show that off. And then we always I love the platforms that allow you to test a bunch of different models in the same hub. So you can test Google Veo 3 with this and a bunch of other ones, but I chose Wan 2.2 because I wanted to test it out, and that's what I think makes these platforms pretty cool. So yeah, I just generated something simple. Obviously there's still the limitations of kind of like the shorter time limit video or of the videos when you go to create stuff. But simple cup of coffee. I'm up in the mountains right now, so I was just thinking about it. And what makes this video cool is I was trying out kind of a different way of prompting, which is the JSON prompting, which has recently come out. With it's the JavaScript object notation, and it just kind of sets the scene a little bit more. You can get a lot more description and kind of maneuverability within the prompt with that structure, and so I've found success with it, and I think a lot of other people have as well. It's pretty easy. You can just go to ChatGPT, obviously type in your regular prompt, ask it to turn it into JSON for you, and then actually drop that into the image gen tool, and it works really well. So this is the quick video I made with Wan 2.2, and I think it's pretty solid for a little 5-second clip. How are we doing on that time, William?
Yeah, it's still provisioning the model with a model of this size. Even when the weights are preloaded, it still takes a while to get the cold start going and to get everything configured. And obviously with Metrum Insights, it's a very robust tool. We have a lot of checking to make sure everything's running properly. So you still need to run all of those sanity checks. So yeah, we're taking a second here to get those runs completed, which is to be expected. But still loading that.
Do you want to share with us the run that you just completed prior to jumping on the pod? We can get a little look at the performance numbers.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that way we don't have to worry about the length of this run. We can just go ahead and get into the numbers, which is really what everybody cares about. So
Clay, for all the folks that are curious about your eclectic mountain location right now, do you want to share your first impressions of Banff?
Yeah, so far it's pretty cool. Obviously, the landscape's beautiful. Calgary is kind of like the biggest Canadian town that's real close, or city, I should say, and it's pretty sweet. Like, it's very well kept. It's awesome city, cool skyline. nice nightlife. Like so far, I would recommend visiting Banff. I think it's cool. I haven't seen the Northern Lights yet, but that's on the things to do.
Exciting. And so you ran kind of your best total throughput performance number here, William, was over 7,000 tokens. This is a huge model. So, kind of expected we weren't going to get 10, 20,000 tokens a second performance. What concurrency setting was this that you got your highest peak performance?
Yeah, so we got peak performance at, I want to say it was at 4,000, but generally anything over about 10 or 1,024 requests, you're going to get over 7,000 tokens per second. So pretty awesome performance here. Yeah, and I think this is just a limitation of the fact that we're only serving one replica. So if we had a multi-node setup here, then theoretically we could push those numbers even higher with greater concurrent requests. But yeah, ultimately that is a hardware limitation. But at the same time, these numbers are phenomenal. We ran this on B200s, and yeah, we also ran some full weights Deepseek V3, the May update, and it was only getting about 5,500 tokens per second on a similar 8 GPU setup. So it's really awesome to see how this performance has improved, and whatever architecture changes they made in 3.1 have definitely led to some really good throughput increases.
Yeah, I think just like reading the chart, I think that 1,000-ish at 7,000's pretty decent. I think just based on human level reading speed in a chatbot environment, you'll probably want to target sub 1,000 concurrent requests on a on this by 8 kind of Blackwell based system, but you'd be able to serve hundreds of users at at really like 10 token per second kind of latency. Obviously you can adjust down that curve and serve more users at a higher latency as well. So this is a good way to kind of look at that throughput versus concurrency trade-off. For more agentic workloads, if you're running agents, obviously they don't have kind of human level of acceptability of latency, so you can always kind of optimize a little bit further on that curve as well, depending on how your agentic workflows are set up. So yeah, great visualization here, William, and exciting. Did we get the run you did live 10 minutes ago kicked off on the?
Yeah, we did. I'll monitor real quick and see how that's doing. Yeah, it's still provisioning. With this model, it will take 10 minutes to even get the run started. Even if the weights are fully loaded, it's just a massive model.
Cool. I won't. Let's not take our audience through the whole sausage making process, but I think great way to quickly provision and test out a model, and great to see Blackwell running out of the box day 0. Great to see Metrum Insights run out of the box day 0. Great to see the ease of use and the compatibility with VLM on Deepseek V3, and arguably, definitely a top 3 open weights model released this week, and puts developers and application builders in a fantastic position to have a new high fidelity model in the market. So exciting stuff, William. Thanks for grinding it out and getting this up and running right out of the box.
My pleasure. It was
day 1.
It was cool. It was cool to work on, and very exciting to see such good numbers from a leading open weights model. And yeah, now we just got to test the performance and implement it in some workflows and really get a feel for what this model is and what kind of gains we can envision.
If we know DeepSeek and we know the ecosystem around DeepSeek, we can expect that there's going to be a ton of distilled versions of this model as well. So for people that want to drive more affordability with some accuracy trade-off, they're going to be able to distill it down to an 8 billion parameter model and get a lot of that goodness and serve more concurrent users or more concurrent agent workloads on a lower hardware footprint as well. So you can get a lot out of just 1 by 8 Blackwell system today, but if you want to kind of move down the cost curve, easy to do with those distilled models. And DeepSeek team does a great job of supporting distillation as well. So I'm sure the ecosystem, if not DeepSeek itself, is going to roll out a ton of support in that regard. So, well, thanks for turning in to the KYAI pod this week, special pod just to showcase the Deepseek V3 update, and looking forward to more innovations and open weights models in coming weeks. It's an exciting marketplace, it seems like one company puts out one, and then a week later you get another state-of-the-art open weights model. Makes it really easy to innovate in AI these days.